Hi, I'm Aaron Russell, or Ray Russ, and I want to tell y'all a story and bring awareness to a disorder that not many people know about. It's called Childhood Apraxia of Speech. I'm making this video for 3 reasons. The first one is to raise awareness for childhood apraxia of speech. The second one is to give families hope that someone has been in their shoes and has overcame this. And third is for people that know me but don't know about it, that didn't know I have it, in the past or present, that don't know that I've, went up against this disorder, that I've had to fight this battle. So what is childhood apraxia of speech? Childhood apraxia of speech is a speech motor skills disorder that affects, obviously the speech and also the fine motor skills. So basically it's described as a message is being sent from your brain to your mouth, and there's something in the way that's not getting it fully or, as clear as it's supposed to be. Just something that's messing up the receptors from getting the message. So what I have is childhood apraxia of speech, and you develop that when you're young. You never grow out of it technically. You have that for the rest of your life. So I'll always have it, even though it's called childhood apraxia of speech. I'll have it my whole adulthood and on. But if you're an adult, you can get apraxia of speech, but it's usually from some kind of head injury. You don't develop it when you're older. It has to be due to some kind of head injury. Then you have to learn how to talk again. And childhood apraxia of speech is not curable, but it's treatable. There's speech classes, there's physical therapy, and actually nowadays the technology that they have, like apps and other stuff for kids, really does help. And I didn't have access to that whenever I was a kid. So that's great that they're making improvements like that. So basically the doctor described it as this: my brain is like a stick shift. This doesn't come natural, doesn't just flow. I gotta think about it before I say it. Everybody else is like an automatic. They can just, they don't gotta think about what they're gonna say. It just comes natural. Growing up, I hated to read in class because I had to try to read ahead of what I was reading at the same time. So then whenever I came to it, I wouldn't have to stop right there and try to read it and then say it. I could just read ahead until I get that in my mind. Well, it's not just whenever I was in school, it's still like it to this day. Or whenever I'm just talking in person to anybody, I have to think about what my next, where I'm going with the sentence, my next few words. Because I hate to stop and, I hate to stutter, I hate to just stop and just I'm like a deer in a headline trying to get my thoughts and my words, the right words I want. Because I have to whenever I'm saying something, I stop and then come up with a better word, or I'll say I'll start stuttering to try to put the word I meant, because I use the wrong words all the time because of this. I can't think about what word I'm trying to get out. I'm actually trying to get out, so I say a word that's nowhere close. So at work, I have to sometimes read something, and I hate reading something because I have to just, like I said, stay ahead of myself. I have to process it before I say it. And so I'm a slow reader, and 2, if I do mess up on a word or say it weird or something like that, it's just oh shit. And so growing up, I felt like people thought I was stupid just because I'd stutter a lot, or I'd stop and pause, try to say something, they're like, what's wrong with this guy? Why does he not know what he's talking about? He's making this up, stuff like that. I'm 22 years old. I I'm currently in college at King University, and I work at Denso Manufacturing. And so at work all the time, whenever I'm trying to explain something, I'm just like, I get caught up trying to figure out what words I'm going to say. So I just like freeze up. And there's been many instances where I've been made fun of for it. Like at one of my previous jobs, a customer came in, I was trying to get what words I'm going to say, and he's just like, making fun of me, and that was tough. But I took speech therapy class from preschool all the way to I don't know, like 5th or 6th grade, probably 6th, I think 6th grade. I had to take speech class, and then I also had to take physical therapy class because it also affected my motor skills. Like I had to wear a weight on my wrist whenever I try to write, because it'd be that, I don't know how to explain it. So after I explain something, I'll say, does that make sense? Because the way I say it sometimes too, it makes sense in my mind, but maybe not someone else's. So I'm like, does that make sense? I say that all the time after I say something. And I'm trying to help people that don't know this disorder understand it. Because they may have someone they work with, or they know, they're friends with, or someone in their family, and so they can better understand this. So I was diagnosed with childhood apraxia of speech at 5 years old. They said that I was talking at a 2-year-old level, 2 or 3-year-old level, but comprehending on a 10-year-old level. My sister was the only one that could understand me. She was my translator basically, because nobody knew what I was saying. And so, shout out to all my physical therapy trainers and my speech teachers for helping me get this far to where I am now. Because after I tell someone about that I have this, I'm like, really, I couldn't even tell. I've come a long ways from where I was. So, the doctor told me I'll never be a public speaker or an athlete. And I've spoke in front of a lot of people before, in front of church, in front of in class for giving presentations, in front of my coworkers. I've spoke plenty of times. And then I played football in high school, in 9th grade through 12th grade. So all my high school career I played football, and that was a challenge. Whenever I started, obviously I didn't have that good of coordination, fine motor skills. And so it was, compared to everybody else, I looked like I was pretty. I was struggling. I get made fun of all the time. Like, oh, you can't even catch. That kind of, people would say that, I'd just blow it off. But, I was at a strong disability compared to everybody else where they were. And I was at a handicap, basically, to where everybody else was. They've been playing football all their life, or they don't have something affecting their motor skills like that. So I was at a huge disadvantage. But I kept getting better each year. From freshman year I was if you're watching this, coaches. So from freshman, sophomore year, I got a little bit better. Sophomore, junior, got better. And by my senior year I wasn't too bad from where I had started from. And so, shout out to my coaches for sticking with me and not giving up on me. I was, I had a lot I was dealing with for that. So shout out to Coach Quarles, shout out to Coach Ellis, shout out to Coach White, both of them. Shout out to Coach Upton, Coach Robinette, Coach Hunt, all of them. maybe missing one or two. But just thank y'all for sticking with me and not giving up on me then, because I was conquering something I was told I'd never be able to do. That's just crazy. I also want to give thanks to God, because I wouldn't be here where I'm at now without Him either. So hopefully this video has gave you a better understanding about childhood apraxia of speech. So, if you know someone, or just spread awareness in general about it. I'm sure a lot of teachers probably don't know. If their student has it, probably don't know. And to the families that, this is giving them hope, maybe your kid just got diagnosed with it, you don't know how to deal with it, it's possible you can make it through it.